I know I am 9 days late on talking about Gameoverse, but you know what? Better late than never. And I just recently watched the pilot. I've been hearing a lot of people say that their piece about it. I don't really know what they would really say exactly yet because I've seen people talk about the pros and cons about the pilot. So here I am now speaking my piece about it. And just think that the beginning tells us that if the hero wins in their world and the planet dies because of that, that is fucking cool, dude. Sorry for the profanity, but it is just wow. Absolute cinema, bro. And they said that it took 13 years to make that shit. And I'm like, whoa. To think that it took that long is insane. And I appreciate the fact that before this came out 9 days ago, the creator of the show told us the age of the characters, and Erica Lindbeck as Kit. Erica Lindbeck killed it with her performance. I love her as a voice actress because of the level of talent that she has. And well-known characters I can think of on the top of my head. The first one that pops in my head is Futaba Sakura from Persona 5. And there's others that I can name, but we would be here all day if I was to list them. So, and to think that Aaron Hansen voices Gobbles the learning dinosaur, which is called a Learnosaur, you can tell just by the design that he's inspired by Donkey Kong, but if he was a learned character, somebody who helps you learn some stuff, like basically kindergarten brain with the character when you first see him, which I ain't gonna lie, I find that shit funny, and Aaron Hansen is so good with the performance. And whoever's idea it was to cast Christopher Sabat as Rorik, bro, that is just a peak casting choice for an antagonist. That is something I have never thought about. Let alone for a pilot. That is insane. And I'm looking forward for what all has to come, which the premise of the story, which I'll explain the first part. I already explained the intro, which we're in a ship because the intro is a dream sequence. And we are on a ship with Kit, her backpack, and Gobbles. Which Gobbles is just on a tablet playing his game, learning animal sounds, which I ain't gonna lie, that was pretty funny. And the backpack was just so freaking mean. And I was like, why do you gotta be mean to the dinosaur with a goldfish brain? With and the fact that he was nervous at first and then had like this wisdom to give encouragement to be stronger, I'm like, whoa, that is insane. And I ain't gonna lie, Elise Lovelock's character, I thought she sounded like Laura Bailey, but nope, it's Elise Lovelock. So that is something that catch me by surprise from when I was hearing her performance, which I do think that it was a good performance. And the fact that the villains manipulated the hero into destroying their planet to kidnap the antagonist, that is just wow. And the rest of the pilot, we are in a video game world because of a crash which the ship was self-preparing itself by beating the shit out of itself with a wrench, which I find that funny to see happen. And I don't know what else is going to go down exactly yet, which the pilot is peak in my eyes. That which I would even go as far as saying that it is just as peak as Indie Cross. Would I want to watch Indie Cross for the buddies react? Hell yeah, I would. You're welcome for the idea. Let us know down in the comments below if you want to see that. And we'll even do the same thing for Gameoverse, given the fact that Glitch Productions does allow other content creators to watch their shows on recordings for YouTube as well as streams on whatever streaming platform you can think of. For example, Twitch, with how Twitch is the definitive platform, which is a understatement to say. And as for the rest of the show, and it's hard to talk about it without spoiling it, we have gotten some good entertainment this month. And for the horror fandom out there, I am aware that Sinners is coming to Halloween Horror Nights for the 2026 Halloween season. And if you want to hear my thoughts about it, I would be willing to explain it in either episode 35 or 38 of the podcast, depending on which of the two I do it on first. Which, for my time when one of those two episodes comes around, I'll leave a link in the description down below. And yeah, that's pretty much all that I would like to get out of the way. And one more thing I would like to say really quick. If you want to see some gaming content later today, I will be streaming on my main channel, Samaroni. And you may also see me on twitch.tv/Samaroni_YT and kick.com/Samaroni. So I would say go on whichever of the three platforms you are the most comfortable with, or all three if you want to be that person to where you're like, yep, I'm just going to be that supportive watcher of this man's content. I don't know how else I can word it, so let me rephrase. I'm pretty sure that if you want to, you would be like, yep, I'm going on all three platforms so that I can support this guy who wants to make content creation a job someday, because I've been doing this as a hobby for 5.5 years, and where I am now comes to show that content creating is not easy when it comes to growth. Which anybody can do it, but growing with what you do, that's where it's a bitch to do it. And as for what I will be doing, I'm just going to revisit the story mode for Mortal Kombat 11, but I'm going to be doing all of it on stream, which I will give the heads up for those ones to tune into the streams. It is not contained for audiences under the age of 18 because of the mature content there is in my streams, plus jokes that minors are not supposed to be hearing. And as for Gameoverse, as far as ratings go, I haven't given a rating in a while, which I gave Mortal Kombat 2 a 10 out of 10 because it's one of those movies where if you're a fan of the games, you'll enjoy the movie. Same case with the Five Nights at Freddy's movies. You would need to be a fan to fully appreciate the movies. And I don't know exactly rather or not if there will be other video game adaptations exactly yet, let alone a show that is a video game adaptation. But when it comes to movies, there's the possibility that I may go see Spider-Man Brand New Day for my 22nd birthday. And to give this to you all in context, I turned 22 August 17th. So if you want to say happy birthday to me when that time comes, or wish me an early happy birthday in the comments down below, that would be very much appreciated. And I will save the rest of what is planned for my birthday for August or late July, depending on which of the two I end up doing. And yeah, that is pretty much all that I would like to get out of the way really quick. See you all around, and figured I'd give some side stuff to yap about with how it is difficult to talk about Gameverse without spoiling it. So yeah, to Erica Lindbeck and Aaron Hansen, if you guys are watching this, you killed it with the performances.